All right. Thank you. So, hello. Today I'm interviewing Chantelle Davis Gray. So, welcome to the Everyday Tarot Podcast, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille Saunders, healer, tarot reader, and professional witch. And today, like I said, I'm joined by my guest, Chantelle. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Chantelle Davis Gray. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a designer for do good, feel good businesses. So I do Squarespace websites, branding, and dun, da, 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 custom card decks. And I really do all of those things with the intention to help people grow their businesses. I only work with one client at a time, so it's a really collaborative process, and I just bring strategy, style, and support. So I obviously help people create their own decks. I have a program where people can DIY them. I also design them for people, and then recently I finally designed my own. So that was very exciting. And yeah, I just really love being in nature and hanging out with my spouse and my dog.
Oh, lovely. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing.
I'm excited.
Yeah, if anyone hears this episode and you want to be a guest on the show, I am filling out I'm just gonna do a whole guest season.
Ooh.
And if anyone knows, I like to do 13 episodes on my season, so I still have a couple slots to fill. So I have a guest inquiry form available. And then if you'd like to connect with Chantel further, her website is your name, right?
Yep.
ChantelDavisGray.com. We have
Yes.
Chantel Davis Gray on Instagram.
Yep.
Your email is cdg@chanteldavisgray.com. And then if you want to grab the deck in particular, it's on the website. So chanteldavisgray.com/it's grow time with the name of the deck. And all of those will be in the show notes as well if folks want to check that out. And then, yeah, if you haven't listened to my other seasons yet, I'm currently, well, outside of my guests, I'm recording season 17 of my podcast. So, yeah, I'm getting close to the end of the full run of 2025, but still a couple more seasons to go. Right now, I'm doing autumn tarot spreads. So, a
Mm.
whole tarot spreads season, which has been fun to do kind of live readings. And we're going to do some type of spread today together as well. So, yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, so I wanted to start with like Chantal, you create decks, help others create decks. What's your familiarity with like tarot, oracle card, affirmation decks, anything like that?
Sure. So I don't even remember when I first got my first Oracle deck. It's many, 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 many years ago, we will say. Um, but Oracle, I think, actually, no, that's not true. I had a tarot reading
Okay.
back when I was like, yeah, a baby. Um, and that was my first introduction to it. I just had one of those moments where like a memory just like flashed in my brain that I'd completely forgotten about. So that was really cool. And then I dove into Oracle decks. And I think tarot amazes me, but my brain does not retain the info. It's like I'm a birder too, and the same thing with that. Like outside of just like, my five favorite birds, I don't retain all the different qualities and things about them. It's just not how my brain sticks. So I think tarot overwhelms me a little bit in terms of me being the one actually pulling tarot cards and trying to do readings for myself or other people even. Whereas Oracle's like, hi, let me give you this guide. I can just
Yeah.
help you on your way. It feels less intimidating and it feels like I don't have to keep it all in my brain so much. And then Oracle kind of led into affirmation decks. And then, yeah, in 2016, I started designing them for people, and it's been an awesome, fun, creative ride.
Yeah. Was that like, did someone ask for that?
Yes.
Okay. So they were
Yes.
like, you can do this. I want
Yes.
this.
I was in a awesome, like, collaborative of fabulous healers and witchy people, and someone in the group said, I really want to do a affirmation deck. Who can do it? And I said, I never have, but I love them and I would love to do it. So if you're okay with you being my first, let's do this together. And since then, it's been awesome. So, yeah, needless to say, her deck was a big success. She's still
Yeah.
selling it. Yeah. And so other people saw that I was doing that and wanted one too.
Yeah. Do you know how many decks have you helped create? Have you kept track of it all?
I should count them. I haven't. I know
Okay.
that I have two drawers like full
Chock full.
of
Okay.
because I end up ordering every single deck that I design. And when people make them themselves through my program Impact on Deck, if they are generous enough to tell me about what they're creating, I end up ordering their deck as well. Like I want to support everybody. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of decks of people, but I've never
Yeah.
counted them. So I
Okay.
should do that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, to just be very, I mean, it sounds like, I don't know, over 30, like
Oh
50.
yeah,
Like, yeah,
definitely.
it's a
Yeah,
lot.
I would guess closer to 50,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that's
Definitely
very
dozens
cool.
and dozens.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I love that you're right. Like using your artistic skills and vision to help folks create what they want. But and then holding this like, oh, but also like, ooh, I'm like kind of, I don't know. I don't know totally about it myself. I think you're right that like when people ask about Oracle versus Tarot, or I led a full moon circle on Sunday night and we had someone like brand new to Tarot.
Hmm.
I sort of say that, yeah, tarot has structure that's consistent across decks.
Yes.
Oracle has structure, but you don't, right? Like, there's not necessarily, you don't have to bring anything from a prior deck
Correct.
knowledge
Yes.
to the new one. So I'm
Yes.
sure that like helps because it's like they have to give you all the info
Yeah.
in the deck guidebook or whatever it is, because
Right.
there's
Yeah.
kind of like not an assumption of knowledge already.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Because I've done a bunch of Oracle and a lot of affirmation, and then some like journal prompt, like some that are really more, or conversation starter, some that are
Yeah.
like meant to be done with action versus not, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, which is kind of like your deck when I think about
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah.
True. Yes.
Yeah. So how did
Oh.
you, yeah, make decisions about your deck, or where did your inspiration come
Yeah,
from?
my deck. So I've been making them for other people since 2016. So that's 9 years, right? So
Yeah.
I never made one for my own business, partly because even when I do my own website, it's so much harder to make decisions creatively for my own business. Whereas
Yeah.
for other people, it's like crystal clear, obvious what needs to be done and exactly what I should do. For myself, no. But the reason I made my deck initially was I actually wanted to gift it to my clients.
Mhm.
So whenever I work with like a client that we're doing a big project together, I always like to send them something. And it hit me like, duh, why don't I make a deck to send them? Because like part of me is like not cheerleader in a rah-rah like toxic positivity way, but in a I do believe in you and like your work
Yeah.
really does matter and all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to make a deck to gift, and then I was like, wait a minute, why am I only gifting it? Like why couldn't I
Mhm.
sell them too? So that's how
Yeah.
it evolved. And then I have always worked with, like I said in my intro, do good, feel good businesses. And so that's what I made my deck. I split it into two halves, do good and feel good. So half the cards are actions to take, and half the cards are affirmations. So it all kind of ties together.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's sort of like a literal gift that you get to give your
Mm-hmm.
clients as they like go on their way. Like as a
Yes.
therapist, I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Because sometimes I feel right, I feel that desire too of like, oh, like hopefully they remember what we talked about and
Yes.
like how it's been helpful and that like right. But then also when they go on their own, it's like, oh no. There's a little
Yes.
bit of like, ooh, I hope I right can like remember all that or keep up with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Like it's
it's
a
like,
way for
there
them
you
to have
go.
you in their head, like,
Yeah.
or on their desk. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 that's very cool. Okay, so that was how your process was. It
Yes.
sounds like it was sort of clear that it was going to be this like do good, feel good split.
Eventually. I mean, that's not how
Yeah.
it started. It
Okay.
started with me just doing like a giant brain dump because the other thing is I had a lot of ideas. Like it didn't have to be for business owners. I also am queer and I don't want to say I'm a very anxious person, but I have dealt with anxiety my entire life. We'll put it that
Yeah.
way. So like I might end up making an affirmation deck for queer folks at some point, or maybe queer business owners, or maybe anxious business owners. I knew that I wanted it to be business owner vibe,
Yeah.
but there were so many options, and I still may end up doing those decks in the future. TBD.
Yeah.
But yeah, narrowing it down to, okay, if I want to make this a gift, what's like the broadest audience of my clients?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how I narrowed it down. And then the creative aspect was also challenging because of course I had so many ideas. And so that again was just a lot of brainstorming and trying things. And then a deadline is my friend where I had to just make a self-inflicted deadline. I had to
Mm-hmm.
make a decision, and that's how I got it narrowed down.
Okay. You were like, yeah, you have to wear both hats. You're like,
Yes,
person creating deck hat is like,
yes,
have it done.
exactly,
Creative artist type that's creating all the affirmations. You're like, oh, okay. Okay, I can
exactly.
do it.
Yes, yes. But look at
Yeah.
this idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like almost there's like a whole brainstorming map and you got to be like, okay, these ones are kind of cohesive and like go
Yes,
together and like this one is clear. Like the clarity was there. It makes
exactly.
sense. And
Exactly.
then, okay, we'll keep these other ideas
For the future,
separate.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was curious. So I had asked about like what kinds of decks you like to use in
Mm,
our little like form that I had you fill out, or like what do you like to use them? And you talked about the queer tarot deck.
yes.
So
It's
yeah,
so
what do
pretty.
you like about that deck? Okay, it's pretty. That
I
right,
mean,
number one.
I'm a
That's me and
designer,
decks too.
so like
Yeah.
it has to be cute.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
number
and
one.
some I like some art, I'm like, it's cute, but it's not like me. Like it's not
Yes,
particular to me, right? It's
correct.
not
I can
my vibe.
appreciate it for the fact that it's art, but it's not like making me happy to use it.
Yeah.
This deck, I mean, it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's hand like it has that like hand drawn vibe. There's bright colors, there's neons, there's black, there's white. Like
Yeah.
it's all the things I love.
Yeah.
And then obviously all of the actual visuals with like gender expansive people included and I mean, it's just so pretty
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really the reason I bought it and that it's
Yeah.
queer. Like, yes, there's like a fun rainbow on the cover. Um, but I have really liked also the descriptions. Like as I've used it,
Yeah.
I have
Because this
actually
one is a
also
tarot deck. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But it does
Yeah.
come with a booklet.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
like
good.
it gives me a helper. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a helper.
Yeah. I always read the book. Like my first deck, I think I got in like 2017,
Mm,
2018. So that one I'm familiar with like the vibe and some of like the interpretations.
yep.
But when I read for people and for myself, I'm always like, well, this is what it says. And then like, how does that connect to you?
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's like part of my therapeutic style too, is that I'm like, this is what, the DSM says about this
Hmm.
diagnosis.
Yes.
But like, how does that, right? Like, do you see yourself in that? Like, what do you like, not like? Like, how does that
Hmm.
not? Because a lot of times it doesn't capture how it feels necessarily, more of like what it looks like on the outside. But to
Right.
me, like that transparency is very important in my role in that way. And so I
Hmm.
think, yeah, from a deck perspective, I appreciate when the deck can say, right, this was the vision, or this was, right, why I drew this way.
Yes.
And, right, like maybe it has an owl on it, and like you associate that with like your grandma, and like the
Right.
deck maker did not know
Of
that.
course.
Like, and
Yes.
so I think that part is very cool about, yeah, decks and the visual representation is that we get the words if we want them, and
Right.
then the visual component can just bring all this more depth
True.
to it.
That is one cool thing too, I think, about tarot. I mean, obviously some oracle and affirmation cards have this too, but I think specifically tarot, there's often so many elements in the visual
Yeah.
that like if you I admittedly am not always great at this, but if I actually do take the time to like really examine all the details, like more little symbolic things can pop out because there's
Yeah.
so much in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like I've learned that by doing my podcast, like doing
You're
research.
amazing at that.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
But yeah, there's so many things that I didn't know, or it was like, I don't know, there's certain cards where there's like a lobster on it, and it's like, that's your subconscious, because that comes from Carl Jung. And I'm like, what? Like,
Right.
could not have like assumed that on any
Right.
level. But yes, a lot of the like symbols, like you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
are yeah consistent across tarot decks, and you can know that, but that doesn't mean you know like why.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of decks are based off of the
Right.
Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and that's where a lot of those like symbols come from. But yeah, it's always I found that very interesting, yeah, in doing like all of my research.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, there's so many. There are a lot of decks where it's like there's 78 things on every card
Right.
where you're like, it's a color and a this and a that.
Yes.
Um, yeah. And I've never had like the traditional Rider-Waite deck. It's very yellow for my eyes.
Same. Not really
And so
my
I'm
jam.
like, not for me particularly. I have like seen it a lot. Again, like if you
Of
do
course.
research on tarot, it's common, and they actually have pink versions of it. So maybe one
Oh,
day I'll get a pink version of it.
yeah.
And there's lots of iterations. But yeah, that's like one thing where I'm like, yeah, no. I my first deck is based off of that. It still has a lot of the same structure, but much more like modern imagery
Right.
too. Which yeah, I'm definitely like a bright colors. Like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of one right now. I'm gonna grab it. I really like this deck. This is the Desert
Ooh.
Illuminations. So it's very like turquoise,
Yeah, that orange and
Southwest
turquoise is so pretty.
US colors. And I'm very drawn to yeah, like the bright color stuff too in that way.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, I'm definitely like a maximalist. So I
I
love
I
the
go I really actually that was part of my struggle when I was designing my own. I
mm,
go one extreme to the next.
yeah.
Like I am like minimalist, clear everything off. I only want white and black
Mm, hmm.
and give me all of the colors and all of the shapes and all of the textures. So
Yeah.
like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, like from in moving to this house, my old house had like a lot of black and white and gray. And
Mm,
it felt very fun to like add all my color and
yes.
sanity to it
Yep,
because
that makes
it
sense.
was like right, it was like okay, I'll have like a general background and now I get to choose kind of like what color
Yeah.
accents or
You're
things
like
like
coloring it
that.
in.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a very interesting process moving to a new space where the vibe is just different and
Mm-hmm.
the colors are a lot like softer. It's a lot of like
Mm,
creams and gold and tan in the
interesting.
home. Yeah, and it like gives me like a softer vibe. My office is still pretty like maximalist. I have wallpaper that's like I didn't even choose it, but that's why I knew I wanted this to be my office because I
Oh,
was like it's pretty turquoise, like flowers, wildflowers, and a nice, again, like canvas for all my color
that's
in
awesome.
that way. Yeah. Okay. So we talked ducks, we talked the one you like. Do you have any other like queer friendly tarot decks or like ones that you're like, ooh, maybe I would get that one at some point?
I mean, I don't have any others. You know what I really like, but I haven't, I think I almost get overwhelmed with like picking is
There's
like
so many.
well, that, yeah, just period, the end, but also like, um, ones that aren't, well, maybe they probably are sold online, like by, by micro businesses. So like when you're
Yeah.
at like a queer holiday fair, which I'm very grateful that we have those near where I live
Yeah.
now. There's like, and then I'm like, okay, but which one of you do I buy one from? And
Yeah.
then, and then there's also, I've also seen like artwork that's tarot inspired, done by queer people,
Yeah.
like posters and stuff, which again, like really cool because I really, I'm a designer, so I just really do love the art aspect of a lot of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I do love that with tarot, it's like you get to buy like, or right, any deck, you get to buy like 40 art pieces at once.
it's
Like
so true.
in that
Yes.
way of like supporting, like it's very funny. I grew up playing like card games, so like
Mm,
getting new decks of cards was like normal and a thing. And I still will like buy cool card decks that are just like normal playing
same.
cards, and then I don't
Yep.
use them because I
Same.
actually don't really play that many cards now. And some of them are like visually distracting from like a playing level, but yeah, I bought one after like Hurricane Helene. That was a lot of the art that got destroyed like
Oh,
in the
wow.
hurricane. And so people got to kind of like capture it in, right,
Wow.
these
Yeah. And
cards.
like a mini.
Yeah. And so I love that aspect of it, right? As like you said, someone that like really appreciates art and like likes to buy and support
Yes.
artists. I love that part of it and it was really important to me with my podcast that like I'm always linking the decks that I use
Yeah.
because it just really, because yeah, it's like most of the decks I have, I've found at small boutique,
Right.
witchy places.
Exactly.
Like my first one I found at like a clothing boutique in Seattle, and they
Oh,
had one deck. Like they had like jewelry, handmade clothes that were like very expensive, I
of
remember. Because
course.
I remember like being drawn to the store, but then I was like, why am I
Never
here?
mind.
Like and I just walked by it all the time and I'd go in. And I think one time I bought like jewelry for a friend. And then I finally, there was like this deck there that's from a local artist that,
Oh, that's
and it's like
awesome.
a very Pacific Northwest and then kind of like Buddhist deck. And
Ooh.
that, yeah, was my first one. And so, yeah, it wasn't like I went to a place where there were a whole bunch of them
Right.
or,
Which I think in some ways is better
yeah.
because
Oh,
it's less
yeah.
overwhelming to choose. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And I've definitely, right, as someone that now has a tarot podcast, and I have 11 decks at this
Yep.
point, which
You're
I'm like has
stacking up.
escalated a lot. Yeah, since like this year. I've gone and been like, I'm gonna buy a deck, right? Like, I don't know what one,
Yep.
but I'm gonna go. And yeah, it's very hard. And it's often like it is a vibes process, I feel
Yes.
like. Because
Oh,
I'll
a
be
thousand percent.
drawn, right, to a
Yes.
cover of one, but then you like see the actual cards and you're like, no.
Nope.
Or
Yep.
I get a little like, this is AI art. No, thank you.
That's a no. Yep. Agreed.
And yeah, and then there's some, yeah, it's sometimes hard to buy them in person because you don't get to see every card. Like,
Right.
um, you can look it up online and there are people that do like deck reviews where they'll go through every card. But yeah, sometimes in person you're like, I can go off the cover and like the artist
Just the
name
vibes.
and like
Yep.
maybe Google them and like see they have an artist website. But yeah, it's very interesting. So I also like the second deck I bought, I think. I have it and I still am kind of like, I don't like it. Like the art is pretty,
Mm,
but then the interpretations, they give very little. It's like a single phrase, and
yep.
you're like,
This isn't
what
giving
am
me much to
I?
work with.
Yeah, and when I was new to tarot, I was like, like this means nothing to me. Also, it has plants and they don't tell you what plant it is, and I was like, I'm out. Like, I
Yeah.
know. I was like, no, I'm sure the artist like had an idea, right? Like, I
Yes.
assume like I that they
They
intended
picked
certain
that for
things.
some re a reason.
Yeah, but then I think it was two people that made it, so I don't know if like one person did art, one person did like
Oh,
a
probably.
book. And then it was like they didn't, in my opinion, like
The
mesh super
collaboration
well.
wasn't fully collabed.
Yeah. And it was like one that, yeah, like looked beautiful online. I bought it and I'm
Mm,
still kind of like, now that I know tarot better, it's a little less like
yeah, I would not enjoy that.
mystery.
Right.
but it's like I never want to use it with other people because I'm like it like gives you like a haiku like where I'm like I don't
Oh,
I'm
good
like I don't
luck.
have anything to add. Yeah, I'm like it's pretty like if you get like a good vibe,
Right.
but I don't. It's very unclear. Like some ducks are very clear. That one is
Yes.
muddy to
No.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've actually I since I run like a tarot meetup group, I'll get to see a lot of other decks, which is
Mm.
very cool.
Oh, yeah.
And someone else has that deck, and they were like, same. They were like, yeah, saw
Oh,
it online, was like obsessed with the artist, got it, and then was like, I've like tried to get rid of it or been like, does anyone really want it?
and never, no one,
Uh,
no takers.
no. I'm probably not selling it super well because
No,
I'm
you're
like,
not. I think,
yay.
yeah.
Yeah.
It might be, you
But
know what? I mean, do you have any like free libraries? Like not all, ideally all libraries are free, but like the little,
yeah,
like a,
yeah.
I wonder
Yeah,
if maybe it's a
that's true.
place to donate it to like a mini free
Yeah,
library.
yeah. Yeah, I think that or I need to like do some art with it or something. Like
Yes.
because it is
Just,
very pretty. But yeah, it's yeah. That's a deck where I'm like, I
no.
didn't go off vibes or like the
Right.
vibe in person, not not what I was hoping for.
Darn.
Um, I know. And it's very pretty too. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about your process of making your decks. I know a little bit, but for the podcast, what's your process of making decks with other people? I guess there's
Mm.
sort of two
Yeah,
veins.
there's two like channels.
Yeah.
So if I'm designing for somebody, then, we do an initial call, obviously, to like see if we like each other.
Yeah.
Um, and talk
The vibe
through,
check, right?
yes, a
Like,
vibe
yeah.
check. But even at that initial stage, I ask for like, do you have a vision? Because sometimes people really do have a clear vision and they just want someone to execute it. And sometimes they're like, no, I don't really have a clue. I just know I want to get this stuff done. And this is like the mood and the vibe of it, but I have no clue what that should look like. So people, it's everybody's different. So usually from that first call, my brain is like starting and brainstorming of like what I think it
Yeah.
should look like. But so once we decide to work together, then I give them homework
Okay.
because yeah, I want to know more about who are they imagining is going to be using it? How are they going to end up using it? That's something that's
Yeah.
really important to me.
Yeah.
Like, do you picture someone using this alone, at their desk, on the go,
Mhm.
in a group, whatever? Um, and then yeah, then I start designing based on how they want the deck to feel and the information they've given me for their vision. And then I usually start with like like two concepts for them to give feedback on. And then we kind of just iterate from there. And the process takes about 10 days. I do the box and show them how to get it ordered from a printer, all that good stuff. Obviously, if there's a guidebook, we do that too so that everything's cohesive and all matches and goes well together. And then if it's a DIY person, then they're going through my program where I'm literally taking them through all of those steps, but they have to ultimately decide what it should look like. And
Yeah.
that is the hardest part for some people. So there's like brainstorms and worksheets and guidance, but if you're DIYing it, then you got to make those decisions yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what percentage of the ducks that you've helped make like are each one? Is it like half and half? Is it
No, I
like
would say most
you
of them
make?
are ones I've designed.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's like a dozen or maybe more. Again, I should count at some point. There's at least a dozen of decks that have been done from people that bought the program that I've bought. The other thing is that like I also know that there are decks out there that got made through the program that I'll just never see. Like they weren't
Mhm.
like emailers. They weren't
Yeah.
repliers when I checked in, or they did in the beginning and then they kind of disappeared or whatever. So those are just like, who knows what happened to those.
Yeah.
And then there's actually also maybe three or four like hybrids where someone bought the
Mm.
DIY program, started it, got like a
They
chunk of
were
it
like,
done, and then they got stuck. Yeah.
yeah,
Or they like got in two in their heads, and then I took it over and finished it. And I'm so glad that they did because they're such good decks with like just so much heart and like such great messages and everything. And I'm so glad that they didn't just stop. You know,
yeah.
like I'm glad that they reached out for help so that I could help them finish it and get it out into the world. So, yeah.
Like, yeah, you get to like help people birth their vision.
Yes,
It's very cool.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Are
It's
most of the
really
people
cool.
you work with like artists, creative types?
No,
Okay. Oh no. Okay.
no.
Maybe
I
so
mean,
maybe
some,
that's what they're coming to you
right,
for. This
exactly.
okay.
Some are, but I think it's most of the people are pretty, I don't know if they would call themselves a quote unquote good writer, but they enjoy the writing
Mm,
process. So most of
yeah.
them have really loved writing the content for the deck, but then when it
Hmm.
comes to like turn it
Yeah.
into something visual is when they get stuck. Or like I said, they just get too in their head of like the mindset stuff is real. And it was like annoying because when I was making my deck, I hit that same point. And I'm like, this is so annoying because I know exactly what I tell everybody else at this point, and now I have to give myself the same freaking pep talk.
Yeah.
Like, you
Which
just
is
reach this
hard.
point where you're like, why would anyone want this? This is
Yeah.
nothing new. Is this even going to be helpful? Will anyone even like it? And it's like, yes, yes, yes. Just freaking make the thing because, yes, it is going to help people. And,
Yeah.
uh,
But that is part of the process is
yes,
kind
but
of
it's
like
freaking annoying.
questioning, doubt,
Yes,
and like probably put in like 75% of the work at that
exactly.
point. And you're like, why am I doing this to myself?
Exactly. Yeah, it's just it is part of that creative process. Like those memes with like the little wiggly
Yeah.
chart of like starting so excited, why am I doing this? I suck. No, okay, I'm better. No, I really do suck. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like you sharing that too about when you create your own deck. Cause yeah, to me, I'm like, yeah, that's why like I as a therapist can't do therapy on myself. Like it doesn't, it's like
exactly.
where it's like I can know everything. Like you
Yes.
said, I could tell myself the same stuff, but like it
It's
doesn't
not the same.
always, no, it doesn't like hit the same. It's hard to
No.
like support yourself like in
Correct.
that way.
Yes.
Or I'm like, yeah, this is why like, yeah, and like a doctor doesn't necessarily need to like perform surgery on themselves, even
Exactly.
if they know how to do it. It's
Correct.
like
Exactly.
sometimes having some distance
Is
is
helpful.
helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very grateful for like my biz besties and my business coach. Because when I reached that point, I was like, I know what you're going to say, but
I
I
just need
need
you to
you to
say it.
just say it to
Yeah.
me because
Yeah.
I keep saying it to myself and I just need it in someone else's voice. So please
Right.
do. Yeah.
Or we can like take it in a bit better.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So you talked about people earlier. I think you said like something witchy. Do you consider yourself witchy? Is that like,
I do.
okay.
I consider myself like very in tune with nature and like the
Mm.
seasons and um my intuition and whether they're guides or ancestors or whoever, but like I'm connected in some way, I guess. I don't necessarily have good labels for things,
Yeah.
but I do feel witchy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually, it's funny because you've just recently moved, and I know like you have a lot of land, which is magic. Um, and we moved into this house a couple years ago, and there is something I just absolutely love about getting to see like the same land and space and nature change through
Yeah.
the seasons and through the years, like,
Yeah.
and see which animals come through and what they're doing. Like, I just freaking love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, what does your current season literally look like right now?
We are in mid to late fall. I'm in Western Mass, and all of our leaves are mostly gone
Yeah.
because we've had big, big windstorms the last week or two. So we're in quote unquote stick season.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And do you have like evergreens there? This is the thing that's
Yes.
living. Okay. Okay, you do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We have some pines, we have some oh my goodness, the brain fog is not a joke. Hold on. Nope,
There's
I'm not gonna get it.
firs. Yeah.
Oh, we have a bajillion ferns. I love them. No. Um, oh my goodness, this is gonna drive me nuts, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay. Another
But we have a
evergreen
ton.
tree.
Hemlock.
Yeah.
Haha.
Hemlock. Okay.
Yes. We have a ton of hemlock at our house. And some pines and yeah, but that's just like on our actual property. But in the area, there's all sorts of kinds of evergreens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we are also in like most of the leaves have blown off.
Mm.
For my housewarming party, we lost power for 8 hours. And that was actually like a very
Oh,
witchy vibe, actually, because it was like,
interesting.
well,
Yeah,
now
candles.
like we're all just hanging out in the house in the dark with like all
Yes.
our cozy food and just like watching the wind go
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Which yeah, it was like actually very nice. I was glad that I had like prepared a lot of food and people were down to sit in candlelight.
That's
But
awesome. Yeah, that does sound
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. So that was very cool. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, we don't have any leaves left. It's like only the bushes have leaves left because they're
Yeah,
closer to the ground.
same.
But we have a lot of evergreens here. I just forget that some places like don't. And
Don't.
then I
Yeah,
go there
we
in the
do.
winter and I'm like, you can see everything.
Yeah,
Like,
that's weird.
yeah,
Well, not weird,
yeah,
but different, very
different.
different from
Yeah.
how we are here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in like Hudson Valley last year at this time.
Mm.
And yeah, I was like, wow, the forest just like has a tree. And then like 10 feet away, there's like another tree. And like that's it. Like there's no here, there's so much ground cover to like
Mm.
that you'd have to clear to walk through the forest. I was just like, oh, this is like what every Hollywood movie that's set in fall looks like. It's
Yes.
this forest.
Yep.
It's the
Makes
upstate
sense.
New York,
Yep.
like, yeah, vibe. Um, but yeah, yeah, we're swampy here. So
We're on wetland
yeah.
at
Yeah, I
my
really like
house.
it. I'm
So,
like, I'm entering my swamp witch era. That's what I'm
right.
like.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I'm getting ducks this weekend, and I'm so excited. I know. My friend has ducks, and it wasn't it wasn't the plan for them to have ducks, and they have chickens, and they're in a small space. And she's like, "Do you want them?" And I was like, "No, not yet." And now I'm like, "But we have so much water."
That's
Actually, ducks are very
amazing.
like suited to our property.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. I can't wait to see
yeah, we have
pictures.
huge like yeah, we're in like floodplains, so we have a creek in the back. So
Oh my
basically, we're
goodness.
in the like you're in the valley, and all the water flows through the property to get to the creek.
Wow.
Yeah, there's lots of like big culverts and ditches and stuff, like
Yep. You
thankfully.
gotta.
But yeah, it's very
Ducks are
interesting.
very exciting.
I know, I'm very excited. We still need to like build them housing, but
Okay.
uh,
Well, that's this weekend's project.
yeah, exactly. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah. And to see, like you said, sort of the like, I don't know, as like a homesteading person, but also that wants like regenerative or
Yep.
like to steward the wildness that's
Yes.
already here.
Agreed.
I have, I think, to other people's dismay, been very like, I'm gonna watch the land for a year. I'm like just gonna like
Yep.
see what works well here because I don't have any interest in like fighting nature
Right.
in that way
Yep.
of just being like, I want a cow, so I'm gonna have it no matter what.
Mm.
But being like, is that a good fit
Right.
actually for my space? So
It
I
sounds
had
like
come to the
ducks are a
conclusion.
good fit.
Yeah, and I had come to that conclusion, and I was like, well, maybe spring. But this kind of popped up, and yeah,
The
so
ducks need a home.
yeah, I'm so excited too. So
That's
that's
awesome.
been fun. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we'll transition back into decks
Yes.
and
Nature,
business.
ducks.
Yeah. So yeah, how do you like to use when you are using a deck, either in
Hmm.
life or in business? What are you going to them for?
Um, so I always pull cards at the equinoxes. or
Okay.
whatever the plural of that
Yeah.
is,
Okay.
equini, whatever. Um, and on my birthday. And then
When is your birthday? When is that?
September. So
Okay.
I'm an autumn Virgo baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, so it's very for me, it's and I'm Jewish, so it's like very New Year vibes in September
Yeah.
for me
Yeah.
because, we've all been trained
Back to school.
school back to school and my
Yeah.
birthday, Jewish New Year. So it is like very New Year vibe for me in September. More so than end of December. Like, yeah. And then I also it kind of again depends on the season, not in like the nature way, but in season of life way. Sometimes I get into a routine or a habit of pulling one every single day, like every morning before I start work.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's more of a like, what do I need to know today kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so it kind of changes. And then I'm sure this happens with you too. Like there are different seasons, again, life seasons, where like I keep going back to the same couple of decks.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
like in another season, I'll never touch those. Like, I don't know, like like
Yeah.
sometimes you just get pulled to certain things. And then it is also cool, like I don't use my client stuff on the daily, but it is nice to just like mix it up and bring those out and kind of like feel their energy with me again.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very nice. Yeah. That kind of like you get to decide of like, ooh, let me like connect with them
Yes,
in this
exactly.
way.
Yeah, it's cool. And some of them share their, like, some of them are very social media heavy. So, like, they'll be pulling cards and doing stuff. So
Yeah. You'll
that's
see it.
fun.
And
Yes.
yeah.
But some of them are not. Some of them are, like, very offline. So, like, I don't really get to see them unless I'm just opening up their deck. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah, the last sort of question I had, and then maybe we can do our own rating,
Mm,
is I know you shared you like to see kind of like other people's interpretations and like
yes.
readings. Like, I don't know if there's been anything recently or maybe with your own deck. Like, what are some of the like surprises or like maybe a recent interpretation that you've like found helpful? I'm just like very curious about this side of it.
I can't give you a specific. But it's like, okay, you know how I'm gonna go slightly on it. I'm answering you, but kind of in a more general way than you're asking me. But you know how, like, when people are talking about strengths and things, and sometimes you don't know that you have a strength because it just comes so easily to you,
Mm,
and you're just
yeah.
like, yeah, that's just that thing I do. And people are like, no, that's like amazing. That's how I feel about how you talk about cards. Like when you very kindly like featured a couple of my cards when I did my launch. My brain like did like the mind blow emoji
Yeah.
because I just never ever would have thought to even like bring like you like paired it with things that I never would have thought to like pair them with and then like yeah like my brain was just like how did she do that?
Mm,
And I feel like so many people, and again, like that's part of why tarot is not a thing I do a ton because, like, it is not a thing that comes naturally to me. Granted, I don't practice it. Like, I will give myself credit, let's acknowledge that. But, like, I do think some people, and maybe, I mean, I'm curious, like, I would love to hear from you. Like, do you feel like that comes naturally to you? Because, like, on the outside, I'm like, wow, how does she do that?
yeah. Yeah, I think like it took me a while to figure out like maybe like how to allow that or I don't know.
Mm,
When I first got my tarot deck, again, I kind of like it's blurry about like what came
right.
first, but I had a deck. I was trying to learn tarot, and it
Mm,
was like books, court, like I was seeking information, but all of them were like in this like memorize it way. And I
mm-hmm.
was like, no,
Not
like
working. Yep.
not interested. Or I would like buy the book and then be like, yeah, this is like, I'll do it this, and then like literally never look at it. And it wasn't really until like I read for myself a lot.
Mm.
And then actually started like sharing just my own, like, this is a card I pulled today on social media that I started, like, other people started to talk to me about tarot. It'd be like
Mm.
friends of mine that we didn't talk about it, but they saw it on my Instagram story that I did a reading and they were like, "Oh, do you want to like read for me?" Like, and
Oh.
I was like, "Oh." Like I was like, "Oh, I guess like maybe." So I read for like some friends and family. And I think that's when it sort of became clear of like, oh, like, yeah, actually, like, I am good at this. Like, I didn't ever really memorize the cards. I just sort of like knew my own deck and I would read my little book and be like, well, this is what it says, but like, this is kind of what I'm thinking. But like,
Amazing.
I always like to ask people, like, what are you getting from it? And I still remember, like, I read for my sister. She was one of like probably the first, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 people I read
Mm.
for. I was seeing her. We don't live in the same state. So
Got it.
we were meeting somewhere and she was like, "Who bring your ducks?" Like, I want to get a reading. And so her and her friend came and they were on like a friend road trip and they were very
Fun.
connected and like all this stuff. And I sort of was like, okay, like here's my spread idea. Like I'm gonna read for you. And I very much was like, I have no idea what this is about, but I'm just gonna tell you like what I see. And her friend were like, oh my God, like this is about that guy, or like this is that. And I was like, oh, like I don't, that's like a time where it was like, oh, tarot is real. Like that's like
Right.
kind of the thought I had was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, like I didn't know at all what you were asking about, but something's resonating.
That's
Even
interesting.
though, like, I feel like I'm just looking at the cards and how they came out, then
Yep.
they knew, like, they had kind of been talking
Mm.
about this, or we might have done a sort of like relationshipy type spread.
Cool.
Um, that my sister Cecily was like, oh, this is what that's about. And I was
Wait,
like,
what's your
oh,
sister's
cool.
name?
Cecily.
My mom's name is Cecile.
Oh.
That's fun.
That is fun. Yeah. My sister, yeah, I'm like, most people have never heard the name Cecily. So
I
she
know.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, Cecile. Yeah, it's nice. And I'm a Camille, which is also like
Yes. Not very
not
common.
super like people usually are like, oh yeah, sure, like I've heard of that.
Hmm.
But my sister, like she can't like Starbucks order, coffee order at work,
No,
like
nothing.
no, never gonna happen. So she goes by CC when she does that for
Smart.
ease. But
Yep.
yeah, so she has that struggle. But yeah, Cecily. I know there was like Cecily Strong, the like that was like the
Hmm.
vampire or the yeah, or she's the anyway, Cecily Richards or Cecile. What were we talking about? Yeah, tarot. So yeah, it wasn't really until I started reading for other people that I was like, oh, actually, like this is kind of fun and cool. Um, and this year I went to like our Pride and I just kind of was like, I want to be here. I'm going to talk about my podcast. I'm going to like have
Awesome.
crafting if people want to craft their own tarot cards because I really like that whole side of things too, of like make your own.
Yep.
Um, Collage DIY style.
Yeah.
And then I was just like doing readings for people because it seemed fun.
Yep.
And yeah, it was very cool where it's like literally people I've never met coming up and pulling cards. And then
Wow.
again, they're kind of like with their friend being like, oh my God,
Yep.
like, or like, ugh, I just got that
Yeah.
card yesterday. Or,
Yeah. Don't give
um,
that one to me again.
yeah. And I let them like, oh, what deck is speaking to you? And so it was very
Mm.
fun to get to like connect in that way. So yeah, I think like I'm leaning more into like, oh, I'm gonna have a witchy business and I'm gonna like actually like do more of this like tarot reading stuff.
Awesome.
That I've really only done kind of like for free or like
Yep.
for fun.
Right.
And to be like, oh, what would it actually be like to like do this for
Yes.
business in some
Yep.
way?
Yep.
Um, so yeah, and I feel like on the podcast. I feel like I'm channeling. Like,
Mm.
that's an interesting word to use, but that is sort of how it feels to me, where it's just like, yeah, it just seems really clear.
Right.
And I also like, I do a lot of podcast episodes, as you know. So
Yes.
sometimes I'm like, I should do 5 today because I'm behind or whatever it is. But I can't. It's like too
Yep.
energy
Too
intensive.
much.
And that's
Yep.
why I'm a little bit like, it does feel kind of like
Yep.
I'm channeling in some way because it yeah, it's like I get tired. Or I
Makes
just will be
sense.
like, blah, 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 blah. Like I just can't speak anymore after a
Yep,
couple of episodes.
that makes
Um,
sense.
but yeah, it's been like a very fun. I love my Virgo side of myself, my Virgo moon that loves to just like deep dive research on
Yes.
everything and like be like, let's see what I make of this season. So it's been a very fun like way to channel my own like interest and creativity into a thing that I'm still like
Yeah.
I'm endlessly interested in it.
It's really fun to watch you, like to witness and like read your, so yeah, I'm a little bit in awe of it because I really, it's not one of my jams, one of my strengths. So it's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and I feel like it wasn't until you were like, oh my God, you do so many podcast episodes. Like that I was like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, I guess like this is really intense.
Yes.
Um, where I'm like, oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
there's
like
a
it's your
lot.
normal now.
Yeah, yeah, where I'm like, yeah, I do therapy, like, yeah, I lead like witchy stuff, and I do 5 podcast episodes a week.
Yep.
Um,
No big deal.
yeah, yeah, and it's like fun that it's become a like a habit in that way.
Yep.
Because yeah, it basically means I read tarot every day, nearly, because
Right.
I'm doing it on the
Yeah,
podcast.
that makes sense.
Um,
That is a lot. It's a
yeah,
lot
but
of
I like
practice.
it. Again, like I said, I'm endlessly intrigued by it. It
Yep.
has yet to run out of its interest for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like every deck is different. So yeah, so let's do, I want to do like a 3 card spread.
Okay.
I want like 3 different decks, and maybe you
Mm.
pull one and I'll pull two.
Okay.
I am gonna pull from this bright colored Desert
Pretty
Illuminations one
desert.
because
Yes.
we talked about that one. I'm trying
Yes.
to think of what other one. Yeah, for the first time the other day, I did a spread that was like 6 cards and 6 different decks. Because that was like
Wow.
what the spread sort of had. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I've never done
You're
that
mix and matching.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, yeah, very interesting to like see the different, because yeah, I feel like every deck has its own
Its own
spirit,
vibe.
or
Yeah.
yeah, like it has its own essence about it. Yeah. Okay. So you grab whatever deck you want to have. I have this one, and I'm gonna see what other one I
Well, I'm gonna
want.
go with good old Queer Tarot.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Bright colors. Okay. I'll use my herb crafting one too.
Ooh.
Let me look at my
As I lean in
self
closer
view.
to the
Yeah.
laptop to see.
Herb
Oh,
Crafter's Tarot. Yeah, so it's like a plant one, but I really like it because it talks about the plant and then also like how to use it. Like
very
if
cool.
you want to, again, kind of like meet its essence or craft with it. I looked for a very long time for a plant deck that said the
Mm.
name of the plant.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sort of the way I interact with plants.
Right.
And this one, when I did my Plant Allies season, I kept finding it online of
Got
like,
it.
if I didn't have a plant deck, so I was referencing like online decks for the different cards. And I think like 6 of my 13 episodes like used this deck. And I was like, okay, well, I
Okay.
guess I
Well,
like this deck. Yeah, I really like it a lot. So it's
that's
one of my
awesome.
newer decks. But yeah, let me go back to my spread here. So we're going to do 3 cards: accept, embrace, and let go. Do you have one that you feel called to pull for?
Accept.
Or you want to do accept? Okay. Why don't you do whatever your process is for shuffling or picking? We get some shuffling ASMR on. Then I'll do the herb crafting for embrace. And we'll do the desert illuminations for let go. And we'll just talk about the cards and see what comes
Okay.
up. Yes. Yeah, I love this one because it's got like wild colors. This is the back of it. It's
I
like
love the
very like,
eyes.
yeah, and also it has aliens.
Oh my goodness, this is so
Which
fun.
like I didn't even know when I bought the deck because I saw like three of the cards and I bought it at the wherever it was. Um, but none of them were the ones that had aliens on it. And so I got home and was like,
An unexpected surprise.
yeah. Uh, so I was like, amazing. Because as someone who's an Aquarius, like my zodiac is always like, you're into aliens. And I'm like, I'm not into aliens, but like I'm more into like the universe and the cosmos than I'm into
Same,
like
same.
like creatures. But also I'm like,
Cr-
I mean, I watched the X-Files growing
Like, I
up.
think
Like,
they're there, but I'm not
yeah,
like, hey, I want to meet you.
yeah. Oh no, I'm like, no, yeah. It's like for me with ghosts. I'm like, oh yeah, no, 100% believe. Like, I just don't really know if I want to like
Agreed,
interact.
agreed.
Although I was a
Just
little more open
exist.
to it in this, like, we're in this season literally right now of like
Right. That makes sense.
ancestor ghost season.
Right.
But
Yes.
but yeah, aliens, yeah, fully believe. But also I'm like,
Don't need to be friends with.
yeah, and also like I think we have to save ourselves. I don't think aliens are gonna do it for
Yeah,
us.
they're not coming to save
No,
us. No.
they're like, that's a hot mess over there. Yeah, I'm staying out of there.
Avoid is what I would do
Okay.
if I was them.
So I pulled my two cards. So what did you
Okay.
pull for your accept? Ooh, beautiful. Seven of wands? Is
I think
that
so. I
oh,
mean, that's
that's
how
what it
I
looks like,
would
yeah.
read it, but I wanted to verify because sometimes because they're like funky, sometimes I'm like, wait, is that a wand? Is that a what are we
Right.
representing here? Yes, it is,
Okay.
right? Because I also like, actually, I should have said this before. The other reason I like about this deck is they share like who the model was, like the inspiration of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fun too.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to read what it says about it? Your accept
Sure.
here.
Okay, so we have Seven of Wands, self-confidence, courage, boundaries. Your success has not, it's seven, right? Yeah, just making sure. Your success hasn't gone unnoticed, which means that you may have caught the attention of haters. Negative and critical feedback can be annoying, but it is a reminder to stand your ground when your values, beliefs, and boundaries are challenged. Don't respond impulsively. Instead, be prepared and expect this kind of backlash from others. Lead with your courage and passion. Put your inner strength front and center and stay cool, calm, and collected. Don't let others dampen your success. And then things to consider. Think about a figure in your life who is the epitome of confidence. Channel their energy, pushing all your doubts and insecurities aside. How does it feel to be on top and without worry? Write down all of your doubts and then toss them in the trash. You can stand your ground and also be open to learning at the same time.
Okay. So we are accepting boundaries in ourselves, I would say.
And courage and confidence.
Yeah, because yeah, when I think of wands, wands are the like fire element of tarot.
Oh,
So I think of them honestly often as like creative energy that you have like
interesting.
a spark, right? A lot of the
Mm.
words we use for creativity are like fiery
Which
elements.
also, like, I don't know if you noticed, but there's like little starbursts on these cards. So, like,
Yeah, and like
spark
a lot of
feels
them.
like especially
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and I think too with like the way the minor arcana goes from ace to 10 is kind of like its own cycle. It's like seven, it's like we're like almost there. We're like
Mm-hmm.
we're doing pretty well, but we still have some more things to kind of like accept about ourselves and to be courageous about.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, yeah, as we go into, at least in the northern hemisphere, like cold, dark winter,
So dark.
it's nice to be like, oh, right, boundaries. Like, I can say no to
Yes.
things. I can go to
Yes.
bed at 7 p.m. No one's going to
Exactly.
stop me. It's been dark for hours.
Yep.
So, yeah.
True.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Let's
Yeah.
see. I pulled, pull up my self view so I can see. I pulled, so this is from the Herb Crafters Tarot. I pulled Echinacea. Which on here is the Three of Air, which would be like the Three of Swords equivalent.
Oh,
Um, and I did pull it in reverse, but actually this herb deck like doesn't really like it doesn't have in the book any different
got
descriptions
it.
for reversal. And also I'm like a plant, like what's the opposite of the plant? Like I don't
Right.
it doesn't totally work for me, but I'll see if there's anything that makes sense in the sort of reversal. Um okay, yeah, so echinacea. So this is like cone flowers, like its common
Hmm.
name. Speak the truth about your heartbreak. Be the medicine that heals the pierced heart, and healing from grief takes time. And our prompt was embracing for this one.
Hmm.
So it does like a description of the card. So it says three echinacea flowers. Go again. Very brightly colored here,
Very pretty.
sort of like the very traditional echinacea. Pierce the sky on a cloudy summer day. An abandoned barn with a rusted roof stands in the background. The sun and rain battle for position. Bursts of light are followed by short showers. Tattered petals of pink flowers fall as the plant bends towards the ground to offer its seeds. New buds emerge from beneath the thick green layer of leaves. So, heartache leads to self knowledge. You may be confronted with an agonizing reality. Wild echinacea, a potent medicinal that once blanketed the prairies of North America, is now endangered. We may never again experience the wild, abundant fields of its electrifying pink flower. See things as they truly are and accept the loss. Healing lies in your ability to learn from the devastation. Echinacea remedies increase resistance to infection and build a strong body. Embracing painful truths leads to resilience. Seek out strong allies who will help you through the grieving process. Find comfort in your sorrow. Echinacea is a slow growing plant. Sit with your grief as long as it takes. And then for the crafting, says find expression for your heartbreak, write your story. Or you can buy only cultivated echinacea. When you heal the earth, you heal us all. Or embark on a meditative journey to the prairies where echinacea once flourished and harvest medicine for your grief there. So we're
Hmm.
embracing the grief and
Grief.
just like the loss and devastation of this plant. I hadn't thought about it as like blanketing the valleys or the prairies.
Mm.
Um, 'Cause it's a pretty big plant. I've grown
Hmm.
it in my yard from
Same.
seed, and it was a slow growing plant. I feel like it took maybe like 3 or 4 years to get like
Mm.
really established. Um, Beautiful, and like the bees love it as like
Yes.
a native plant in that way. But yeah, so if I think about like, okay, if this was a reversal and what are we embracing, I think I would just say that like maybe you've been resisting embracing the grief or kind of like letting the
Mm.
thing go. But that actually like our healing lies in the ability to learn from the devastation. Like we have to allow ourselves to feel the grief and loss, kind of like in order to
Yeah.
move on. I want to say, like, you don't need to move on, but just kind of like
You can't bypass the hard part.
yeah, yeah, and that like sometimes I'll speak for myself. It can feel easy to live in the like, I would just rather feel nothing
Yeah.
in the middle, in the neutral. But
Right.
right, Ekane just saying like actually you have to let like to feel the low lows in order
Yep.
to also like come back and feel the high highs, the excitement or surprise or like joy. Um, that living in the middle is also like not that's not it
Hmm.
um for us here. Okay, and then we got an alien card. Amazing. So for let
That's
go,
hysterical.
yeah, we pulled from the Desert Illuminations Tarot by Lindsay D. Williams, and I pulled the Four of Cactus, which is like the
Oh.
Pentacles equivalent as the like earth-based plant, and we
Wow.
have like a fun tarantula and UFOs
Yeah, I was
and
just
like
gonna
a
say
lot
not
of
just alien, but there's also
no.
aircraft.
And it's even like I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there's like a shimmering coming from
Oh
the
no,
alien
I
on
can't.
the
That's
it's
not
got
coming
like
through.
little like almost like flames or something. I also like how it's holding it is very like infinity sign or
Yep,
something.
it feels like it's gonna spin or something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, for this, and this one does change like all the suits to be. You have daggers instead of swords, cactus instead of pentacles,
Oh,
jugs instead of cups, and what's the last one? We had cups. We had chilies instead of wands
that's
because it's
cute.
like I have to be like because they're hot and spicy, like they're the
Right.
fire element for me to remember. Okay. Four of cactus, and let me look at our prompt again for this one. This is what we're letting
Let
go.
go. Yep.
Which yeah, I'm like actually like they look like they're gonna like spin it like you said and like it's gonna like fly,
Yes.
fly away. Okay, so the four cactus, a wise and powerful extraterrestrial sits on top of a giant tarantula in the middle of the sun-drenched desert. The tarantula and the alien are both surrounded by various cacti, possibly hoarding their magical powers. The
Mm.
alien wants to be cautiously benevolent while trying to teach the tarantula to be a bit more generous. This card asks you to carefully examine your relationships with material matters. Are you acting from a place of abundance or scarcity? Be careful of becoming so attached to your material possessions that you risk becoming a desert recluse just like the tarantula. Powerful.
Wow. That's pretty spot on for let go, I think.
Yeah, right. Where it's like literally let go of,
Your
right, the
attachment
spinning.
to,
Yeah, like your all your cactus here and
yes.
like yeah, because pentacles are the like earth element, so often it's about the like your material goods, the
Mm.
material world. Um, and so yeah, it would be like, and again, if we're a four on the journey to 10, we're
Mm.
in the like the turning point in the middle of usually fives are kind of like conflictual, like challenge. And so we're kind of like, uh-oh. Like,
Right before
right,
that.
like, yeah, and like, right, like they're saying, like, don't be hoarding again, kind of like, don't actually, the holding on to everything is like not it. You have to like, yeah, let things go to let things go.
Yep.
Um,
And I think, yeah, like the word generous was in there, right? I think, which is
yeah,
also
yeah,
like a different way to think of letting things go
right. Is
is
that like
like
actually someone
sharing.
else, yeah, might get to
Yes.
like benefit from this. Yeah, right, which I think of sort of like community mutual
Yep.
aid,
Totally.
right? Like I shared this thing on Instagram and I had someone message me, my cousin actually, and she was like, "Oh, I like that's so helpful." Because it talked about mutual aid doesn't have to be money. Like a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
time it gets talked about as
Yes.
like give, which like great if you can,
If
right?
you can.
Obviously, money
Yep.
allows people to choose what they need most or what they
Correct.
want to spend it on. And right, like again, most of us have things around that like we're not using or like
Correct.
again, as someone that just moved, right? I
Oh,
got
I
rid of a
know.
lot of
It's
stuff. And
yes.
even now, like and like some of it is art, which like feels like, oh, but I don't want to just like right throw it out. But it
I know.
just
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, but like it's not, I don't need it anymore. That's more of how it
Correct. And
feels
someone else
like.
might like love it and enjoy it, and it'll be like the star of their wall.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, sometimes it can just feel like, right, that I don't know, I've done like clothing swaps. I have a
Mm.
friend that is really good at like doing it consistently and holding them. And it's so fun to like show up to dinner with my friend and be like, oh my God, you're wearing
Yes,
my
that's my shirt.
pants. Yeah. And like, oh, it looks so good on you. Where you get to like, yeah, have the joy of like seeing like someone
Yes,
else, right? Again, enjoy it
exactly. Yep.
in that way that like yeah we can choose to let our things go and actually that will like right, like you said, might really uplift like someone or
Hmm.
their, right, the thing that they were just hoping or needing for.
Yes.
And it is like more effort a lot of the time. It's like under capitalism, it's easy to throw things in the trash,
Yes.
like,
Totally.
or buy things that are like extremely disposable.
Yes.
And often it is like harder and more expensive to like give things with intention, recycle
Yep.
things, to like go recycle all the batteries at the one place and the
Right.
paint and the this and that. Yeah, and so it's also about that, like, yeah, what's your intention? Is it
Hmm.
to rudely pollute the earth or like to
Right.
just make your life easier? Or like, are we into
Yes.
sharing and
Yep.
taking responsibility for things that we bought before? I literally stood at the store the other day for like a good, like probably 25 minutes, being like, am I gonna buy disposable plates for my
Mm.
housewarming party and bowls, or am I gonna spend like twice as much to buy like a plastic bowl that I can wash in the
Yep.
dishwasher and like use again and like real silverware? And I was like, yeah, like I am, I'm gonna be that
Right.
person that like
Yep.
I actually, yeah, did it from when I would host my like tarot meetups when we would craft. We would like potluck bring food. And so
Mm.
I kept being the host of like, oh, I don't want to just keep buying like plastic plates
Right.
that we're all throwing away. So I went to like a thrift store and got like a whole, I called it my like garden party set because I could
Cute.
like bring it outside and nothing will break,
Right.
of like plates and cups. And but I didn't have bowls, so now I've added
Oh,
bowls to my collection.
you've rounded it
Um,
out.
yeah, and like I'm gonna be hosting Christmas at my new house for 20 people, and
Exciting.
I'm like,
Whoa.
I know, and I'm like, I have four plates, like, so I've been, yeah, thinking about, right, what does that sort of like investment look like? Am I
Hmm.
buying a set of 16 plates
Right.
forever? Am I buying like half that I'm gonna use most of the time and
Right.
half that and people, right? I also am going to ask people to bring
I
things. It's
was just
going to
gonna say,
be
yeah.
bring your own pillow, because I also don't have enough pillows for everyone to stay at my house.
Right. Yeah. It's a
Um,
lot, especially as you're moving in. Like those things like you collect over time.
yeah, yeah, and it's like I lived in a smaller space before, and
Exact
so
same.
it was like I can host one, maybe two people if they know each other and will sleep in the same bed. And
Correct.
like, or like maybe if someone's willing to sleep on the couch. And now I'm
Yep.
like, oh yeah, no, we can fully host like seven people probably.
Wow. That's so
And
cool.
yeah, yeah, which will be like, I don't know, like half of the people coming. So
Hmm.
it feels very fun to, yeah, be generous with what like I have now
Yep.
and have people
Getting
to
to
my
share.
house.
Yep.
And yeah. And selfishly, I'm like, great, I don't have to drive over the mountain pass for the winter. I I get
That
to
is also a
host.
bonus. Yep.
Yeah, I get to make my own sacrifices in that space, but I don't have to do some other things. So
Hmm.
yeah. Well, thanks for doing that spread with me.
Yeah. Thank
Anything
you.
else you want to add, or
Mm,
we're close to our time, so
I
I
don't
think
think
we're
so.
we're good to
I
end.
feel good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I liked that spread. It was fun doing three different decks.
Yeah.
Thanks for indulging my
Thank
desires to do
you.
a live tarot spread. It is sort of intimidating always
Yeah,
to
but
be like,
you're good.
well, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'll put them in the show notes. But we had the Queer Tarot, the Herb Crafters Tarot, and the Desert Illuminations Tarot decks. And I'll find the link for the Queer Tarot one.
Mm,
And if you want to connect with Chantelle further, you can find her at
yes.
her website or Instagram or email or grab her deck. That's
Yes.
beautiful, especially if you're a business owner. Super fun and applicable. Yeah. And if folks want to be a guest on the show, I have my guest form inquiry. I always have the links for the tarot decks we talk about in the show notes and on my website if you want to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today on
Thank you
Everyday
so much.
Tarot. Yeah, just as a reminder, podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday for all of 2025. So we still got, 2 more months left of my crazy podcast, at least. You can email me, me@CamilleASaunders.com with your thoughts, questions, and more. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.